You're listening to 101 with Tommie Zam. On the 42nd episode, we sit down with Lucas Beaufort talking about skateboarding and life. Let's do this. Hey, what's up, Luca? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah. And real quick before we start, how do you properly say your name? Because I know there's in the US they say one way, and I watched a couple videos of you and they say your name and differently in France. So how do you actually say it?
So French style is Lucas Beaufort. Parce que tu vois, je peux parler français comme ça. Nobody can understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, Lucas Beaufort is the French way. But I used to go to the US all the time, and people always say Lucas Beaufort. So, like for this time, let's go with the American way. But if you really want to know and how to pronounce it, is Lucas Beaufort.
Cool. So you guys hear it out there. That's the proper way to say it. But it's okay to call him Lucas Beaufort.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. So where are you at right now?
I'm in Normandy, which is west. It's an hour west from Paris. It's the countryside. There's just like lands, fields, cows around my house. I decided to move there. I'm from the southeast of France, which is Cannes, Nice. It's a French Riviera. But in 2018, I decided to move there just because I wanted to be in a quiet place and also like close to Paris, so I can like take a flight straight to wherever I want to go. And as I used to go to LA, for example, it's easier for me to just like take the train an hour to go to the airport and go straight to LA rather than going to Nice, then Paris, then like it's like many flights. And I prefer like to go straight to the goal. So yeah, now it's like the countryside near Paris, which is lovely.
Oh, I've never been, but I heard nothing but wonderful stories about Paris and France and stuff. And I heard the food out there is amazing.
Man, the food. If you want to talk about it, I'm your guy because I cook all the time. Like right now, it's like much more my wife taking care of me. But if I have the time, I always go to the farmers market, get like the finest food ever, and then like cook for people. So I always like invite people in my house. We have like this crazy big table eating like the French food. It's like a gratin dauphinois, uh, French lasagne, so like fish and vegetables, and it's like wine, of course. So I'm a wine guy. I can't eat without it. It's like red wine, white wine, whatever. It's just like it's part of like our history. It's like if you grow up in France and you don't like wine, you probably have a problem.
they're the crazy ones, right?
Yeah, it's like how can you? I see people like, oh, I don't drink wine. I just drink, Coca-Cola or something. Like, man, you're gonna die tomorrow if you drink like this soda all the time. I know people here. Sometimes they just like drink soda all day. They don't even drink water. I'm like, man, I can't. I don't want to see your stomach, but it's probably like a mess. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're a wine guy. It's just like think about it. If you go to France, let me know. I'll let you know which one, which bottle, which because I'm so into it. Since 14, 15. The first alcoholic beverage that I had is a glass of wine.
Really?
But yeah, it's just like it's like when you eat, when you have like a nice glass of red wine, it's just a different experience. It's like it's good, but with the wine it's like double better. It's just the way you can increase the beauty of the food.
Yeah.
And all the big chefs will tell you, like, it's not just like you have to drink to feel good. It's just like the the mix between food and wine is just the best.
Hmm. And my favorite wine is what I drink is a lot of Merlot. I drink a lot of Merlot or Chardonnay or something like that. It depends on what mood I am, but I am a big wine person too myself.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, like the wine that you have from the Napa Valley, like in California, is awesome. Like I drink more and more Californian wine, and what man, it's just like it's getting better and better, and I can say like you're getting into it. You know, it's just like it's so sunny there. You know, we all know that if you want great wine, you need good sun. So yeah, California wine, props for you guys.
Thank you, thank you. I know when I went to South Africa, I went to Cape Town with a friend of mine, and her and her dad took me to this like winery out there, and it was amazing. I know that for sure. And I hear a lot of good stories. There's a lot of good wineries and stuff out in France and stuff too that I want to go check out.
Man, for Provence, if you go like, it's just like wine. There's wine everywhere in France, but it's different wine. You have like the Burgundy wine, which is like more east. You have the wine for Provence, which is like southeast, like rosé, the best rosé of your life. You have, of course, Bordeaux, which is west. It's just like there's like maybe like over 1,000 of different winery and vineyard. It's so diverse, it's so amazing, and you know, I'm not like, I'm not working in the wine industry, just that I love it.
Yeah. And you probably have a big cellar there with a bunch of wine, right?
Yeah, if you check my place where I am now, I have like a whole wall with bottles, you know, ready to open up, ready to celebrate. Because it's also like a way, you know, I'm not, you know, drinking alone. That's not the good way to really appreciate it. You need to be with people. So when I'm just, you know, casual with my wife, we have a glass of wine once in a while, but we prefer to share it when we're like 5, 6, 10, 20 people, because it's the way to do it. You know, otherwise you drink in the morning, you drink in the afternoon, you drink every time, and that's not good, I guess.
We're only getting younger, right?
Yeah.
And then what's your favorite, to go to wine? Like what's your, wine that you like to go to the most?
Well, you know, it depends on the time, but I love to start with white wine. I'm really into like Sancerre, which is Sancerre. Sancerre. It's very good wine. Chablis, of course. You have Meursault. Chablis, you write it Chablis, and
Mhm.
Meursault. I mean, so many. It's very like refreshing and very tasty. But then I think I am really into Bordeaux. If you know, during like the main meal, which I love. If I have to pick one, Saint Estèphe. Saint Estèphe is a very good one. I can't spell all the wine, but yeah, Saint Estèphe. If you remember the way to say it, it's very good wine.
Okay, okay, definitely. I'll look those up and check those out. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
if they'll have that over here in the states, but I mean, I
more and
know.
more. Honestly, they import more and more. I see like this, the wine I mentioned, you will find it, but here with the taxes of of the importation, is crazy. You like a good Chablis, you pay here between 10 and 15 euros. In the US, in California, man, you have to pay almost like 80 dollars to get this bottle because of the taxes and the way that the shipping costs and everything. So it's not easy. Like to the best, honestly, is like go to France and enjoy wine for just 10 euros. With 10 euros, you have like one of the, that's the good thing with wine in France. It's so popular that for 10 euros you have like an amazing time with a Bordeaux, for example. But when you import it in the US or everywhere in the world, man, it's gonna rise up until like 50 to 100 euros or dollars. It's just like the best way to enjoy it is like buy California wine while you are in San Diego or LA. But if you want French wine, go to France.
Okay, I'll have to remember that because I definitely want to go because like I said, I heard nothing but great stories, and I have a lot of French friends over here that tell me a lot about France, and like, dude, you will love France, you'll love Paris, you'll love it over there because it's such a beautiful country. And they're
Yeah,
big.
and it's not, it's big and small. You know, it's like if you can compare it with like almost like California state,
Hmm.
which is like it takes time. You know, if you want to visit the whole France, trust me, you need at least 3 weeks to 1 month. If you just like travel around for 1 month, you see everything.
Okay.
But the good thing is like you know, Europe, it's so big and so close. So you can go to Italy, you go to UK, you go to Holland, you go to Spain, like an hour by plane. So it's just like it's a wonderful, like Europe is the best. You know, it's just, you know, if you go to France, of course you have to go around, not only like France, because it's so nice to go to Germany. I mean, man, I'm a travel guy, you know. I've been
Hmm.
everywhere in the world. I think there's just maybe like 50 countries that I still need to visit. But let's say the US, for example. You know how many states I've visited so far? I think I did them all. I just missed like maybe Arkansas, Wyoming, and two more. The
Yep.
rest I seen it all, you know. It's just like, to me, life is about this. It's about taking your car, going somewhere, taking your bike, going somewhere, visiting something new. And if you can travel around, travel the world, it's just like the way I wanted to live the life, you know. Is
Hmm.
And think about it, like when COVID hit, I was like lost, you know, because my lifestyle was like almost getting a plane every week. And you know, out of the sudden I was like, okay, I can't do anything, I can't travel anymore. So for 2 years it was like very hard for me because I wasn't used to this.
Yeah. And what'd you do? I mean, did you like go stare crazy? Did you like just try to figure out how to refigure your whole life out for 2 years or what?
Kind of I had like everything planned, because I tell you how I work almost like a brand. It's crazy to hear, but that's true. Every September, October, I plan everything for the next year. So it's kind of like I draw the line between, okay, January, February, California. Then I fly to Australia. Then I go back to Europe. Then I fly back to the US. So it's kind of like I draw everything,
Hmm.
because it's a way for me to plan everything and like hit up the right person, and also like getting the best pricing for flights. If you book your flights a year before, you get like good pricing. So that was a way for me to leave. So when COVID came, I mean, when COVID hit, I was in LA, and I was like not forced to go back because my return was the exact day that I had to be back home.
Hmm.
So I went back home, and I had a plan to go to Japan, to go to so many places, and everything were canceled. So I was like, find a way to adapt or die. And it's crazy to say that, but it was the same for everyone. It's just like you had to find a way to make business,
Hmm.
because and to survive, because it was a way to just like to pay your bills and stuff. So I was like, I started to do like some like masterclass, for example, like, hey people, I can like you can do a private masterclass together, and I tell you everything you want to know. So I did like maybe like 20 to 25 masterclasses, and it was like very exhausting, you know, because
Yeah.
when you speak to someone that you don't know for 1 hour and you have to repeat it the next hour, I was making like 5 to 6 a day, you know. I was
Wow.
speaking with Chinese people, talking with like German people, US people. It was like crazy. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I've done a week and I'm done. So I find stuff, you know, like with this gallery from Atlanta. We did like a kind of digital art festival, you know.
Hmm.
So it's just like everything that I used to do like for real, I did it online.
And that probably freaked you out because you're not freaked you out, but you're probably like, "Whoa, I got to do this all online now. No, I gotta put all my artwork on digital, and then I gotta send it on email to people or put it on sites and stuff like that." So that probably like you had to get just to that, right?
Honestly, it's like, you know, the term of like hustling.
Hmm.
You know, I kind of like, and I'm good with this because I'm not afraid to reach out. I'm not afraid to tell people, hey, let's work together. Let's make it happen. I go to people. I'm not like this guy waiting to someone saying like, hey, we have this project for you, what do you think? No, I always like, let's say, for in 100 of projects, like 80% are my projects. The rest is just like random people like hit me up and I love it and I'm like, let's do it. But I love to kind of like trim the my own way. I can't like just like wait and have people like, do you want to be part of it? No, I find a way. So yeah, it was everything physical turned online. And it was like, I mean, I made it happen because like I worked really hard to kind of like spend like 2020 and 2021 normally, let's say.
Hmm.
But I missed the part of like meeting people. I was very fed up of just like being at home. And like I started to travel again. I was in LA in March, and in February, oh man, I felt like I was like, the boy is back. I was like so hyped, driving the car, screaming like, yo, like just like out of the blue. But I felt so good. To me, life is about it. I hated staying at home and doing stuff online. It was, I can't tell you like it was a good experience. It was like I had no choice, so I did it, but it wasn't very good for me. I felt like isolate. I felt like just by myself and trying to communicate with the world. So it was hard.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I mean that's how I am. The same way too. When we did our other show, the live show, we're so used to interacting and being around people, and then when COVID happened, we had to pause and like figure out what we need to do so to keep things going. So we had to do the live stream stuff and adjust to the new way of doing things. And so it's kind of like when we got back on the road, it was like, oh my god, people, just how you felt, like, yes.
Exactly, and like 3 days ago, I was in Paris. Like we don't have to wear the mask anymore. So I was with my friend going to this party. It was like Carhartt X Cons. They made like a collab, shoe collab,
Hmm.
and it was like back in the days. We were in a party with like 500 people in a basement, kind of like drinking and partying, dancing. Like people were skating there. I was like, damn. It was like, is it the end of like the nightmare? Oh man. To be honest with you, I try not to be naive.
Yeah.
So saying like it's the end would be not the truth. I think the body, like our body adapted to the situation, adapted to like like now we talk about like COVID, which is less hard than it was, like Omicron. I had it. It was like for 3 days. I was just like a little bit sick. So I feel like we are in a good way to yeah, to overcome the this fucking shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm ready to, yeah, I'm ready to meet people. I'm ready to party. I'm ready to. So the Tampa project is it's gonna be good for us, I guess.
Oh
For
yeah,
now.
that's right. That's right. You're doing the artwork for Tampa Pro and Tampa Am. You excited about that?
Man, it was a dream, I tell you everything you want to know about it. But so I know Tampa Pro for like for ages. Like
Hmm.
I think the first one I saw was in 1993, 1994 through 411 Video Magazine.
Hmm.
So I was like, whoa, that's sick. And then over the years, because 1994 and 1993 were kind of like the beginning of Tampa Pro.
Yeah.
But over the years I was like, okay, they're getting into this again and again. I was like, and then 2000 it was still there. I was like, okay, that's probably the best skate program, like skate event ever. So I was dreaming about it. I was like, oh, one day I wish I can go. But early 2000 or end of 90s, I was like around 17, 18, and I was broke as fuck, like no money, no way to travel. But I dreamed about it. And the first time I went there, I think it was 2016 or 2017. I had a project around San Tampa Pro, and I lived it, and I was like, wow, it was exactly how I pictured the weekend. But then I was like, oh, I wish one day I can draw the park and paint everything. So I was in touch with Paul
Hmm.
Ditzer, which is one of the owner. Like, I mean, not the owner, but he works there. Is a OG, let's say OG Tampa skate park of Tampa.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, hey, Paul, anytime you're ready, I'm your man. I'm like, so I was like, to be honest with you, it's been like 3 years that I kind of like, send him emails saying like, hey, this is what I would love to do if you guys. So they were like, okay, we keep the project in mind. We hit you up, and this year was my year. Like I think he contacted me in December or something, right before Christmas or something,
Yeah.
and he was like, dude, are you ready? I'm like, oh man. So it was like kind of like yeah, I don't know, it's weird to say, like, because over the years I've done like so much projects, like big projects with big money,
Hmm.
like the Tampa thing. It's very low money, but it represents everything I dream. It's like I could even like do it for free, as it is so important for me to be involved with this thing, because it reminds me everything. It reminds me when I started to skate in 1993. It reminds me that the everything, my childhood and the teenager and everything. So when they hit me up and they said we have this budget, I was like, I don't give a fuck about the project, about the budget. I want to go and make it happen and be part of it. So he was like, dude, you're awesome. I was like, man, it's just like I had this in my head, and all my dreams, I make sure I make it happen. That's my motto. I'm not that guy saying like, oh, have this dream, but I will never make it happen because I'm so weak. No, I'm just like, to be honest with you, who I am, I'm just that guy, that I'm a human with two arms, two legs, and I work my ass off. That's it. It's like if I make it happen, everybody, anybody can make it happen. It's just like you have to be a fucking hustler.
Yep.
That's it. People say like, how can you make it happen if you just work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and reach out, be crazy, like, don't be scared to knock the door and be like, hey, I am here. And that's why I tell people like, I don't think I am better than the other.
Yeah.
Maybe I work more.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. And to your Tampa skate park at Tampa, I mean, that's fucking awesome to have, dude. Like, to have your artwork displayed at I must and I know a lot of people might argue with me about this, but this or might not, but this is the ultimate best skateboard contest event ever in skateboarding, you know?
Man, you name it, I agree. So uh they cover my flight, they take me there, my accommodation, and they have like a little budget for me, but it doesn't matter. That even what I said to them, it was like, you know what, I'm so stoked that I could even like cover my flight to go there.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, it's going to take me like so much work that it's fair to get invited. If you have to pay for everything at the end, it's like, oh, you have to get your, to kind of like get invited at least. But to be there, meet the people, and the good thing is like all the stars are aligned. I have my book release. It's gonna be for there. My book is like, let's say, end of April, the book is gonna be everywhere in the world. So it's the perfect timing. I'll be there,
Yeah.
I will have the book with me, I can release it there. I have a show. So man, it's just like, if I think about it, it was my year.
Yeah. And when you got the email from Paul, you probably felt like a little kid in the opening a Christmas presents,
Man,
at Christmas, you know?
I had to call him. I almost cried. I was like, and it takes me back to the time that when my mom is buying me a skateboard when I was 15. It was a thing. It
Mhm.
was like, I'm not rich, and having a board that costs €70 back then was expensive, and buying the wheels, the trucks, and everything. At the end, it's a lot of money. I mean, and when my mom was buying this to me, it was like crazy. But today, as a fucking spoiled guy, getting like presents all the time, I have almost like 300 boards at home piled together. And when I receive a board at home, it's not the same feeling, it's like when you get spoiled by getting so much boards, like don't get me wrong, I give away a lot of boards, it's not just like
Mhm.
I'm stacking. What I say is like, I felt like this feeling of like when I was 15 of getting a board, getting the email from Paul. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like I want to feel that feeling again. Not being that guy like, oh, another board that I made, sick. It's just like, when you get things all the time, you get used to this, and you lose this element of like joy and everything, because it's like, if I give you €500 every day,
Hmm.
at the end of the day it's going to be normal, for you.
Yeah.
But the first time you're going to be like, sick, €500, and then you want more. And so it was very good for me, like getting this email, and now I'm ready for this.
I know. And think about it. I mean, the whole world is going to see your artwork. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited because I want to see I mean, what designs and what you're going to put into it. Cause I mean, you're going to be there for like days and hours, just drawing and what people like. I'm going to explain to people, like, if you've never been to skate park at Tampa, or a Tampa Pro, or Tampa Am, it's a huge park. So I mean, the work that he's going to put on to these, he has to put on every single panel in this whole entire park, and and it's just going to be amazing. I'm excited to see what design or what artwork you're going to put out there.
It's going to take me like, so I have a planning there, it's like, they were like, are you sure you're going to make it in 3 days? I mean, I said I need 3 days, 24 hours a day to make it happen, because then in between I want to travel around Florida. I want to go to the Keys. So I was like, are you sure you don't want to spend a week to make it happen? No, no, no. I want to work like for 3 days, and then go straight to the Keys, enjoy like 3, 4 days, and going back to Tampa for the Tampa Pro. So it's gonna be I don't mind to talk about it, because you already saw the flyer.
Hmm.
It's gonna be black and white, like no
Okay.
color, black and white. That's how I want to make it happen. I don't want to make something like brightful. I want to make something that's my touch. The black and white thing. It's gonna be very clean, and yeah, it's gonna be like, yeah, my Gus Gus everywhere. The Gus Gus, and I really want to, also like be able to kind of like talk about like my art there, and say that it's not just a design. There's a message behind. Gus Gus is a guy or a girl. It's a mix of a boy, and it has no gender. Gus Gus could be like anything, and it's a mix of a human and a bird, and it represents this guy of loving to be together. He loves to share a moment with people. He loves to federate. He loves to union. And he loves to love. So his philosophy is my philosophy of like being together, because I feel like to be together we can make bigger thing. So I want to tell people that it's not just like art on the wall. He
Hmm.
has a meaning, to be together, to be like super like open to people, open your eyes, be curious. We don't mind, be different. That's fucking cool. I don't want people to be the same. I think
Yeah.
it's fucking cool to see like giant people, small people, big people, thin people, black, yellow, red, whatever. That the more we different, the better it is. And I feel like the world is like getting the same. We see like all those brands taking over the world, and it's like we are going to be like one identity, and I push to this different, like, that's fucking awesome to be different. So yeah, that's about it. I talk a lot. It's like you ask me a question, and I can speak for 30 minutes.
Oh, you're
But
doing good,
yeah,
brother. Hey, you're answering all my questions, and I love it, dude.
and I really wanted to place the idea of like who's Gus Gus
Yeah,
and what does it mean, because I think that art is something that you can enjoy with your eye, but you need to understand the meaning. And if there's a meaning, tell it. And I'm a positive guy. When I meet people, I always say like, "What's your dream about? What do you dream?" And the people are, "Oh, I stopped dreaming anymore." I'm like, "Fuck that shit." You have to dream. You have to dream about dreaming. You have to dream about like, what do you love? Do you love soccer? You love cinema? You love music? You love rap? You love whatever? You love something, and I try to just like uh, I'm really passionate about the other. So if I'm with people, I always like asking a lot of questions, and because we have to be like this, we have to be curious about the others, not just
yeah,
like be like, oh, I am the best. Look at my art. Look what I do. Look what I did. That's bullshit.
yeah.
It's like now, what can we do? Together.
No, I agree, 100% agree with you on that, and we all have to work together, to make things happen, and it's like what you said before, going back a little bit when you said that how you work so hard 24/7. I mean, you have. I mean, you put. I mean, you're well known and for your artwork and for everything you have done, not just for skateboarding, for everybody, everything, and that's just amazing to do.
Living the life that you want to live. It's like like you have this podcast. You do your thing, and you interview the people you want to interview. It's like you cannot like you're an artist too. You draw your line,
Hmm.
and that's super important. Like in this world, I would love to hear more people living a life they want to live, because most of the time, 70 to 80% of the time, people they just like do random jobs because they have to pay bills, and that's sad, because is it the reason why we're here for? just to be just to be like, I don't want to say the slave, because it's a strong word, but
Yeah.
you just want to be at the mercy of someone telling you what you have to do. Clean this floor, open the door, say hi, say no. You know what I mean? It's like you want to be your own boss, so you don't have somebody telling you what you have to do.
Yeah.
And I understood this very, like very quickly. When I was at school, for example, I was like different. People like my teachers were like, Lucas, you won't go anywhere, because I wasn't like listening. I wasn't into like doing my homeschool and everything, but I was more into like, oh, I want to go out and skate. But let's say, how did I learn English, for example? Do you think I learned at school? I would be so bad. I learned it because I was curious to know about language. I was
Mhm.
curious to know what can I read, what can I see, what kind of movie, and skateboarding taught me everything. Like skateboarding taught me how to speak in English because I wanted to travel and meet people. So, uh, I'm going anywhere. It's just like what I want to say. It's just like I hope this message that I have will hit your head and be like, Lucas is right. Let's do something that means something to us. And
Yeah.
I know it's not easy, and it wasn't easy for me. But I just like, when you love something so much, for you it's not working. Like painting is something that I love. So if I paint every day, uh, for the whole week, I don't have this feeling of like, oh, I work for somebody, or I work for getting money. No, I paint because I love it. So if you love it, you work a lot, you work hard. And yeah, so yeah, the message is just like, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it doesn't matter what you love. If you love it, that's it. That's all that matters. You don't need to love skateboarding. You don't need to love painting. But if you love something, try to explore it.
Yeah. No, you're 100%. And then to what you were saying about skateboarding, do you feel skateboarding has helped you a lot to be where you're at in life? Or do you feel like, if you weren't skateboarding, what would you be doing?
Oh wow. Honestly, like The
That's a
best
good one,
thing
right?
that ever happened to me is my mom buying me a skateboard for me and my brother when we were 6, and it was like a random plastic board. We were just like um, going down hills under our knees, getting like holes on our clothes all the time. And my mom, she was pissed, and she said, "Okay, no more skateboarding." So she took the skateboards and she throw it away. And I was like, so then I started to make like to do like soccer, which is good. I loved it because it was like a team thing. It's like you when you play soccer, you have to do it with 12 people or 11, and it's awesome. You win together. You play together, you win together, you lose together, and I really loved it. So I had my thing for like 5 6 years, and when I turned 13, my mom, she was like, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, I want my skateboard back. And she was like, okay, let's get you a proper skateboard. And then she was like, what? We went to like skate shops, which is in Toulouse. It's a
Mhm.
big city in France, south. And we went there. Skate shops still alive. And she bought me a board, and it was so expensive. She was like, I can't believe how much we spent. It was almost like 150 euros back then. But I want to thanks, like props to my mom being down to get me a skateboard, because it built me.
Mhm.
Like then I made friends who skateboards. They were from like Italy. They were from like different cities. I started to travel in France, made like girlfriends. I mean, I learned everything, how to be with, you know, tease girls, and being with boys, and fighting when you have to fight because you have like problems down the street. I learned everything, like to kind of like be open minded with people down the street, living like the hobos and everything. You just live with down the street, and I learned like how to live outside, and English, of course. And I'm 40, and I'm still into this. I can't skate anymore because since like a year I rolled my ankle, and I'm so scared. I tried to cruise with a board, and I'm still super scared about it. I don't want to roll it again. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm 40. I feel super happy to see skateboarding every day through like my phone or whatever. But I don't want to be back to like a year ago. I couldn't walk. I had a cast. It was a nightmare. So I was like, you know what? I would love to be back to skateboarding, but I'm gonna wait. If I have to wait another year to get my ankle back on track, I'll wait. But yeah, skateboarding, everything. You know what? It's even more than art for me.
Mhm. Oh,
Art,
really?
yeah, it came after. I started to paint at the age of 27. It's super late.
Wow.
And yeah, and if you want me to jump into this, it was just random. Like before the age of 27, never drew anything. It was just like, oh, what I'm gonna get for my brother. Okay, this time I'm gonna for Christmas. This time I'm gonna draw something for him. So I did a drawing, framed it, gave it to him. He was like, sick, that's so sick. And my family were like, oh, that's cool. You should keep it up. And it was right the time where Facebook happened. So I started to just show my thing without, I had no clue. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what is Facebook. And I don't know. And I didn't think about like having a life around art. It was just like, let's make a drawing. And then a second, then you have somebody saying, hey, is it for sale? I was like, fuck no. How much you want to spend? I have $300, man. Get it. And then a year later, I had a show and sold like half of my production. I was like, what? And then a brand like and then like almost skateboards.
Yeah.
They hit me up. It was the first skateboard graphic, let's say, for a big brand that I did, and it was like same feeling with Tempa. It was like them asking me if I wanted to make a design for Younes Amrani,
Mhm.
It was
I think
Younes
I
and
think I
Daewon Song. And
I think
Daewon Song.
I think I remember that graphic. I have a vision in my head of that graphic. I do remember that.
And and think about it. When they asked me to draw like the board for Daewon Song,
Hmm.
I was like, it remind me when I was 14 in this small village in the French Riviera, getting my board. I had a Daewon Song board on my hand. It was a Deca back then.
Uh-huh.
And I was like with my friends and like, wow, I wish one day. And I remember that's what I said. I said, I wish one day I'm going to go to California just to see them all. And I wasn't like even thinking about meeting day one. It was just like going to California, And then 10 years later or 15 years later, you have the guys from Almost asking you to make a board for day one.
How'd you feel?
That was a feeling that I can't like explain. It was
Yeah.
just like, how did that happen,
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, just to think that, like, if you go, if you think about your life, I mean, coming from, when you first skateboard to watching Form One videos and having all these dreams and things you want to do, and all of a sudden you got Almost hitting you up. Hey, we want your artwork on our boards. And you're like, whoa, what? And then you get to travel, and then all of a sudden Tampa, and one of your biggest dreams ever come true is Tampa Pro, and they're like, hey, we're down. Let's put your artwork all over our skate park, and the whole world is going to see your work. I mean, this is like street dreams, I guess you can say. This is a dream that you put in out there in the universe many years ago, and then all of a sudden everything's coming into place. The universe is putting everything all together.
And you're right. And again, like let's jump on this of saying like I have this opportunity not because I'm lucky or because I have like my dad who were an ex-pro that put me, everywhere. I'm just that random kid, who grew up in a small village in the southeast of France. So I just want to say that I am the example that a random dude from nowhere with internet and you know what I mean, like and passion can make it happen, you know. And I don't think that is the lucky part. Luck has nothing, I mean, luck is part of it. Of course, you can meet people, but what is it? 5%.
Hmm.
If you think about luck, nothing will happen. If you like, oh, I wish. No, make it happen. Take your bike. Just do things. I see people like very young artists. They're like, yeah, if you want my work, you have to pay this. I'm like, you know what? If I were you, I would draw like I would make designs for girl skateboard, chocolate skateboards, alien, whatever, and give them for free, just to put your name on the map. That's
Yeah.
how I would do it. I wouldn't be picky. I see people at 20 years old and they're picky. They're like, yeah, I won't work with this brand because it's not good for my image. Man, you just born. You're just here for like just go mellow, chill out, you know. And people they take themselves very seriously at the young age. That's not good, just like take it easy. And just like I was down to give away my art back then, just to have a chance to put my name somewhere. So almost paid me for those boards, to be honest with you, and I was proud of it. But like I would do it for free, like that's the advice that I tell people, when they start. Don't be like that guy being like, oh, my art worth this much. When you start, be humble and just like give away your thing, give away your shit. Like if you love a skate brand, send them some graphics and say, oh, this is what I picture for you guys. And who
Hmm.
knows, it might be like amazed and be like, let's go. So yeah, like the I love just to say that I'm not special. I'm just a fucking hard worker. So
Yeah.
if
You're,
you work
you're a
hard,
hustler.
hustle, stuff might happen. I'm sure about it.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. You know what I mean? If you don't put, what you said is absolutely true. Because I mean, I mean, I hear the kids all the time, like, or upcomingers saying, "Oh, well, I charge my art for this much," and I'm like, I said, I think the same way you're thinking, like, why don't you just give it a free, or let people have it, and that way they promote it and put it on their social media, or the companies are like, "Oh, this is cool, I like this, I'm going to use this," and you just keep on giving them artwork, and and my story, what I did is I did the exact same thing, I had a dream. I wanted to be ride for Planet Earth. I love Planet Earth back in the day with Mirko, Felix, names go on and on. And I didn't have a shot sponsor. So me and my buddies would go out and, make videos just for fun of it. And I would make sponsor tapes and I would send it to Planet Earth, and send it to them and keep on sending it to them and keep on sending it to them. And, until one day they're like, "Hey, thank you for the video. Here's the board." And
No way.
and I was hyped. I was like, "Dude, I got a board just for sending them thousands of videos." You know what I mean? And I was hyped on that. That made my day. I was like, and that's what pushed me to what I'm doing, by hustling. And I learned from that being, keep on doing what you want to do. And exactly what you said, if you have a dream, you go for it. You work your ass off and you do whatever you can to make that dream come true. You don't sit back and be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to be, the world's telling me to do this and do that," and you said some things that, like, a lot of teachers and people in my past have said the exact same thing to me, like, "Oh, you're never going to become anything. You're a skateboarder. You're too tall to skateboard, or you're not going to do anything with that." And I feel the same thing what you were saying too, in the previous conversations of, people denying you of things and saying you're never going to become anything. You're just going to be a bum on the street, and I just laugh about it every day.
Yeah, because look where you are now and what you do. It's amazing, like to be able to do that. And you talk about Planet Earth. I love that brand back then.
Oh, it's the
Felix and
best, wasn't it?
yeah. To be honest with you, with I loved back then it was 101. Oh
Oh
man,
yeah.
101.
Oh my
Love
God.
that brand.
Adam McNatt.
Yeah,
Jeremy. Oh no, Jeremy Ray wasn't on 101, was he?
Clyde Singleton.
That Klein was, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love that brand. And what's his name? What's the name of this brand back then? Rhythm. I don't know if you remember Rhythm.
Oh yeah, Rhythm.
Yeah, Rhythm with
Yeah.
Kane Gale.
Yeah,
Kane
King
Gale.
Gale, Shanny. Was it Shanny on that one?
Shani, yeah. It's funny because he's on Nine Club right now, Shani, and
Yeah.
I was listening to this morning. But yeah, that's all about it, It's all about, like, and there's another thing, you see people sometimes, they don't believe anymore, and they forget about something that, or even like with the young people, they're 20, 25, or 15.
Hmm.
When you're 20, when you're between 15 and 25, you don't care of anything because you think you are eternal, you're gonna you can't. But the reality is we are here for a short moment of time. And if you think about it, if I knew about it before, because it took time for me to really, like, understand that we have to live as much as we can, because what, in 30 years I won't be here talking with you anymore. Like, I don't, maybe not 30, but they say 40. I'm half of my life, uh, and let's say when you turn 70, you're in less good condition, so let's enjoy now. It's crazy, like, we have to wait 65 to get retired. Fuck that, because
Right.
I want to leave now, we should, so I think we should live the way we want to live, and we should live with our own rule that respect others, because it's not like, oh, if you're a bastard because you have your own rule, you don't give a shit of people. That's not a good way. It's just
Yeah.
like, live your own life with your own rules by respecting the others' rules, and remember this thing, you're just here for a couple of years, and since I'm 30, I said that to myself every day, like, what can I, like, experiment, where can I go, where, You know, like it's even like the eating things. You know, we have our taste, and sometimes you're like, oh, I will never eat snails because it looks disgusting. Don't think like this. Just you should try. Even the thing that you hate, you know, just try. Even your enemies, try to be try to understand them. You know, it's like it's so weird to say. You know, it's like even the people who hate on me, there's not a lot, but maybe some. You know,
Hmm.
I'm like, you want to talk to me? Talk to me. You know, like, and I try to change mentalities as well. You know, there's no place to hate. There's no place to be a fucking hassle and hate people all the time through social media. You know, I know it sounds like peace and love stuff, but we should be more comprehensive. You know, we should be more open to the world and to the people that, you know, we go outside, we see somebody like different, we're like, oh, look at this guy, it's so weird. You know, we shouldn't be like this. We should treat people normally. Like, you're different, that's fine. You know, if you're good with this outfits, you know, it's just the society is so like he's so heavy on our shoulders. You know, the society is telling you like you have to do this and that, you have to pay your taxes, you have to have a wife, you not a boyfriend, you don't have no, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
uh, they tell you like you have to find a girl or you have to find a boy. They never tell you that you have to find your boy, find a boy, because that's not good. You know, it's like they tell you the line. You know, they tell you like don't cross the line. And I crossed the line my whole life. Sorry, cross the fucking line. You know,
Yeah.
cross the fucking line. And because the society is just like telling you to be the same. If you follow what society tells you, you're gonna be like a sheep. You know, like just a not just a guy that looks like other people. Oh, I need to have a baby now, and I need to have a house. No, you don't need that. You need to have what you want.
Yep.
And if it's not about having kids, okay. If it's about like having a house, go for it. If you don't want a house, and but the society tells you to have a house, the fuck that shit. You know that society tells you like so much things that kills people. You know, oh, you have to have the best job of all the world. You have to be a lawyer. You have to get a lot of money so you can tell people that you succeeded. You know,
Yeah.
that's all thing. Destroy people, make people sad, and you know gets to like being like uh being like, what's the word, you know, when you get like depressed. You know, the
Yeah.
depression is you know the bigger reason why people depressed, because of the society, because how much they tell you to have like much followers, much success, make money, be beautiful. People, they, you know what I mean? No, they forget about like who you are and
No.
what you like actually. You know.
No, it's true. I mean, if you know, because they want us to go on the lines, they want us to follow the line. If you step off the line, then you're oddball, you're strange, you're different. You know what I mean? People look down.
Outcast, kind of outcast. They want you
Okay.
to be
Yes.
like, they tell you're gonna be outcast. You're gonna be like you don't, you know, like I remember when I was 13, 14 at school, I wasn't like getting the best mark, and my teacher were like, if you don't get the good marks, you're gonna go anywhere, you're gonna be like yeah, down the street. But they never mentioned about like what I loved. You know, they never asked me what do I like. They were like, get good marks for math, geography, you know, like whatever, you know, but they never ask you what you really like. And that's the problem, you know, because we should be more aware of this. We should have a class to know what we love, you know, because sometimes
Yeah.
you ask people what you like, they don't even know. They're like, I don't know what I love, you know, because
No.
I never like treated myself like this. I never asked myself this question. But we should at the young age being like in those class with like a teacher that's you know, telling us like, if we, you know, like what do we like, what do we love.
No, that's definitely true. You know what I mean? And it's 100% because, and what you said about depression, and that's so true because I mean, we're shoved down in our faces how to look, way to look, and how to act. And so, if, you know, and all these people now with social media look at, you know, a perfect John and a perfect Jane, and they're living a perfect life, and they look at their life and like, I'm not living that life, so they get depressed, and they're like, how am I going to be like this? I need to be like Jane, I need like Joe. No, be like you, be who you are. Don't change yourself. You want to make yourself better, go out there and do something better. You want to be make money, go do something that makes you happy, like you said. Just you don't need the social media to tell you about your life. I mean, sometimes I drive down the street and I see people in a car. It'd be a man and a woman in a car. The man be looking driving, and the woman's on her phone, and I'm just like, wow, man, like where's this social life? Where's people talking? You know what I mean? This woman's on her phone, and while the guy's just sitting there and they're not communicating. It's the same at dinner too. So it's crazy. What I do is I tell people, if you're in my car, phones away, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna listen to music, and just roll down the windows and just communicate. That's how I am.
Communicate.
you know
That's so true. Communicate is like, even in skateboarding, like, let's be honest. I saw that all, like, many times. You go to a skate plaza, you see all those kids skating, and sometimes they just sit on a bench and they're all on their phone.
hmm
So it's not just like phone is everywhere. It's like capturing the moment, but I feel like people are not living the moment, they're just living through their phone. It's like something's happening where you are, but you try to know what's happening in the other city. That's weird. You
yeah.
should you should get the vibe from where you from your friends, from what's happening in your place. No, you try to get the news from other people. Yeah, it's another topic, the phone thing. but
Oh yeah, definitely.
but yeah, exactly. Communicate and, like, share a good moment for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And we're gonna go off a little bit off of this. You dropped a book. Tell us about this book you dropped.
Oh man, you talk about heart. Yeah, man, it's I don't know how to start with this. Like, just to give you an overview. In 2017, I did a documentary on skateboard media called Devoted, and I traveled the world. I had no clue how to make a documentary, but same thing. When you're passionate, you don't care. You have this idea. So I went to the US interviewing Thrasher, Transworld, Barracks, and then I interview also, like, people like Mark Johnson. Um, I was saying Jim Thibault. I tried to get Jim Thibault. Went to Europe, Australia, Japan with my own money. Like, I had some sponsors, but it didn't cover everything. So I kind of, like, put my own money into this.
hmm
And I don't know if you saw this documentary. It's an hour long documentary. I can send you the link. It's on Vimeo. Devoted.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I think I posted it on the True Skateboard Mag site.
Yeah, back then it was
Yeah,
2017, so it's
yeah,
it's 5 years now.
yeah. I remember it
And
now.
it was it was it was my biggest project back then. It was the most um the most interesting project for me, because it was also like a way to meet my heroes, to spend time with Lance Mountain, being with him, uh Guy Mariano, being with him at his place. It was incredible. And so I did that. And over the years, I put a lot of hard work on my art. But when COVID hit 2020, I was like, oh, I want to go back to a skateboard project that brings people together. What should I do? And through my travels, I had a lot of connections with skate shops. And I was like, oh, wow, that's amazing that, and skate shops were suffering because it was closed and everything. And I was like, oh, I want to do something. I think it's the right time to make a book, bringing together 40 years of skate shops history, and, like, trying to tell the story of everyone. And I was like, oh, wow, I think I got something. And I started to reach out, all my friends, because on the book, let's say I interviewed 90 skate shops, and maybe like half I knew them before, and they knew me, through, like, skateboarding. So I started to say, hey guys, I want to make a book about you guys, a tribute about skate shop, because the skate shop is like, it's the sense of like it's it is where everything starts. You know, I love skateboarding because of the skate shop and how it is, like how to get in. It's scary when you're 13. You're scared to ask a dumb question and you don't know anything about it, but you want to know, you want to learn, and you start making friends and you start like spending sat like the whole weekends there watching like VHS and everything. And when I contacted them, they were like, Lucas, we were waiting for this. So it took me a year and like a year and 2 3 months to put everything together. And yeah, you're right, the book is definitely alive, and it's gonna be I mean, you can find it, you can find it on my website, you
Hmm.
can find it in Europe. It's not in the US yet because it's like I send like all the books to my distributor, which is TOA, Theories of Atlantis. They're gonna distribute the book, and it's on the way. So it's gonna be released worldwide for Tampa Pro. So let's say end of April, you're gonna get the chance to have this book, which is like crazy book. It's 428 pages.
Oh wow,
It's like
wow.
huge, like crazy. It's so heavy, but when you get the book on your hand, you're gonna be like, dude, it's about everything we love about skateboarding, and you're gonna learn a lot of things about this skate shop from Okinawa, Japan, named Chocolate Jesus. Man, the name is Chocolate Jesus.
I
You
like
have
that.
to check it out.
I,
It's insane, you know. Like they have their own brand, like FTC, you know. So they have a lot of like Chocolate Jesus product, and that's what I love with skate shops.
mhm.
When I visit Atlas, for example, or FTC or Civilist in Europe, you know what I want to buy? I don't care about buying the same pair of Vans that you can find everywhere. I want to buy the Civilist product.
Mhm.
I want to go to Cowtown and buy this T-shirt with Cowtown on it because it's the only place where I can get it. So that's why I love with skate shops when they run their own brand, you know,
Mhm.
because a skate shop should be like much more than a name. It should be a brand. It should be a brand that you're super proud to represent. When you travel around, you're like, hey, they're my boy, you know, like this shop, it's my shop, you know, and I'm part of it. So that's
Yeah.
how, yeah. So yeah, the book was another adventure, you know. It's like I didn't know how to make a book. It's just like I had to find the right person to work with. And same, you know, when like this time, it got like kind of like sponsored by all the brands that we know in skateboarding. And when I introduced them the project, Vans, DC, Volcom,
Uh-huh.
to mention a few, they were like, Lucas, how can we say no to a project like this? It was almost like when I introduced the project, it was like, you can't say no, bro, because you worked with those shops for 40 years.
Yep, yep. If
You
you
know
say
what I mean?
no,
So
then what's gonna happen?
yeah, yeah. Do you want me to tell them that you don't give a fuck, but you made business for 40 years now? I mean, it never happened like this,
Yeah.
but it was almost like that. It's like, I really believe in this project. I want to showcase how much skate shops are important, but at the same time, I want to bring the brands, because let's say when you go to skate shops, if you don't have product, it doesn't mean anything. So this book is not just about skate shops; it's about our community, which is brands, skaters, photographers, like any kind of people that love skateboarding. It's this book. So it's about skate shops, but it's about the whole community. It's about the skaters, it's about the photographers, it's about the filmers, because they're part of it. They're into this book. So I think this book is much more than this. It's our community, together. So yeah, I'm so proud of what, because to me, even if I did it myself, I think we did it together. We did it because I had the chance to get introduced to photographers to each different skate shops, and we're like, okay, we work with this photographer, he can get you photos. So it's a team job. So if you get the chance to get the book, you'd see that it's not just me make it happen. If we made it happen, the community.
That's right, dude. And I'm excited about the book. I'm definitely excited about the book because you're right. Because I mean, skate shops are the root of for skateboarding. You know, if it wasn't for skate shops, there would be no Lucas. There would be no Guy Marano. There would be no Cream Campbell. There would be no names to go on. There would be none of this. No skate brands at all if it wasn't for skate shops. And that's what a lot of people, a lot of kids got to understand this, or actually this generation understand is like that's why we promote support your local skate shops because it's huge. You have to support your local skate shops. Yeah, you got your mall stores and your corporate skate shop, whatever. I don't even call them skate shops, but corporate stores and stuff like that sell skate products. But it's not the same. It's like what you said when you're 13-year-old or 7 years old, you're walking in a skate shop and you're like, wow. And all these older kids look at you like, who's this Grom? Who's this kid? You know what I mean? Like for example, like my shop, I grew up. I mean, I had Interlight. It was a surf skate shop. It was cool. But when I went to Plus, or back in the day, it was called Beach Plus. Now it's called Plus Skate Shop in Fort Walton Beach. And I would go in there, and Mike was the owner. And I was like, me and my homies were there early in the morning, right before the shop opened up. Before we went to go skate the foundation, it's like a leveled, it's just a slab of concrete that was used to be a building, but now it would turn into a skate spot. We would wait there. The shop would open at I think 9 or 10, and we'd wait there. And Mike would come in, and I would do some. He was like, "Oh, hey, here's do some work," and I'd do some work just to be like, "Wow, man, I'm doing some cleaning and hoping Mike set up this." And he was like, "Oh, here's a little discount on something." You know what I mean? So it hyped me up. So that was my shop. Me growing up was Plus Skate Shop, aka Beach Plus. But when I moved out to San Diego, my shop is Pac Drive, Pacific Drive, because it had that same feel of Plus Skate Shop. So it was like my East Coast was Plus Skate Shop, my West Coast is my Pacific Drive, and so it's you. I get what you're saying, man. When you walk into a skate shop, even when I was 18, walking Pacific Drive, seeing it on 411, Sal Barbier hanging out in the skate shop doing the introduction of 411 and this and that, and knowing what the legendary, all the legends that hung out there and been part of that, to me, I still get like that even now when I walk in there. And I'm like, even though they know who I am, I still get like nervous when I walk into that skate shop, but I definitely get what you're saying, when you definitely need, this generation needs to understand, like you have to support your local skate shop. And for you putting the book out there about skate shops and what in their community and what they do for the skate scene and stuff, I give you 100% props, man, because they needed it.
Thanks a lot. Honestly, like it means a lot to hear that, and it was a lot of work, but I don't mind because I love it so much. And again, it's like it was the same for Devoted. I was like just like curious, why did you call? Why did you name the shop like this? How did it happen? What was the milestone? Tell me more. Tell me everything. And I think this book is the beginning of many things because I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I want to have a website with this and like keep like interviewing more sketch shops and be like the place where every sketch shops around the world could be able to talk about what they want, what they're doing, what they're gonna do, kind of like the platform where yeah for skate shops and like for the community. So yeah, I'm thinking about it to go further and to keep sending love to the shops, the props for Chris Neradko doing like the skate shop day, which is another good way to yes to send some love to all the skate shops and those kind of like things I really you know I really care, really care.
No, definitely, definitely. And think about it. I mean, if it wasn't skate shops, what would you be doing? You know what I mean? I mean, how would you be getting your skateboard? I mean, the world wouldn't know the world didn't know who Lucas is if there was no
No,
skate.
honestly, like I don't, I have no answer for this because Man, who knows? Maybe I would be like so random in a random company. I think that skateboarding, shaped me. Like I think since my young age, I always been like this kind of dude, always down to bring people together, organize thing, and like being kind of like a leader. I don't like this word because that's not like, I'm not saying I'm a leader. I'm just saying like I always had a crew of friends organizing things. Even if I was 8 or 9, I was already like thinking about, hey guys, let's go bike, let's go down the street and just like look around. So I was always inspired by getting people together.
That's rad, dude. That's definitely rad. And I know what you mean. And I mean, it's not a leader. You're just people just looked up to you. You know what I mean? You had that. You sounds like you have not inspiration, but I can't think of what the word is. Might be leader. I'm not sure, but people look up to you. You know what I mean? You have that. People want to be around you, and you're like, hey, let's do this, and they're like, okay, let's do this.
But same with like I wanted to be with people as well, like
Yeah.
if you have this personality that you wanna kind of like you can like do things and like organize things. If it's not for other people, for who for who are you gonna make it happen? Same, like this like the book we're talking about. I'm shipping the book to so many people in the industry because I want I don't want this book to be like just like on a cave,
Hmm.
so I was like, okay, hey Chad, Mosca, I know him. I was like, hey, send me your address because I know that he's going to be into this. Thrasher, all the media, they need to get the book. So it's like I know the power that has this book in terms of like the community,
Hmm.
but you have to spread it. You have to I know people are going to buy it,
Oh
but
yeah.
it's not like I've printed 50,000 copies. It's like I talk about like 5,000, 5,000 copies, which is like big and small. Like for the
Yeah.
world, it's nothing. For skateboarding, it's getting like a nice number, but I think it's gonna go fast, very quickly. Like, and one day we're gonna be like, oh, how can we get the book? Like, maybe people are gonna sell it like very like for a high amount on eBay, but I don't want this at all.
No.
But I might like maybe next run might be with like a publisher and like go bigger, like maybe 50,000 copies, because when you work with those like Rizzoli or those kind of publisher, it's like big numbers.
Hmm.
So I'd be hyped, to do another run, bigger, with a bigger audience, like going to the bookshops and stuff, because I want to spread, I want to spread the idea of like this book has a meaning for a lot of people. So yeah, that's the goal. I don't want to be just like yeah, this book is for just a couple of people. No, it's for the world. So
Yeah.
first run, I did with what I could do, which is a lot of money. Trust me, like 5,000 copies this thick. It's a lot of money. But yeah, next run, let's go big or go home.
Definitely. 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 Well, I'm looking forward to getting my book. So definitely it'll be put with the rest of my skateboard books that I got from other people and stuff. So I'm definitely excited to check this out
I
and everything.
got you. I got you. If we meet up at Tampa, I got you. I got you a book for
Okay,
sure.
cool, cool. I'll be definitely there because Tampa's a 4 day party, man. So I heard you go to Key West. You better be ready for Tampa Pro, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna rest there to be ready for because if I stay 1 week in Tampa before, no, I need to do the 3 days painting the course, and then like getting some just like chill time down south, Miami, Key West, whatever, and then going back to the craziness when it's ready. I don't want to wait there. I don't want to be like, oh, what are we gonna do tonight? No, let's go to the pizza place and just like watch, sport
Crazy
game.
people. Watch crazy people in Ybor City.
Yeah, Ebor. Yeah, exactly. No, no, no. I go there for the right time.
No, definitely. No, you're doing the right thing, man. Do your thing to go down to Key West, sit on the island, and just drink your margaritas or your coconut rum or whatever, and just
Exactly,
relax.
man.
Get some little fishing in, and just I'll
That's
probably
what I'm gonna do.
I'll see you all tanned out when you get back in Tampa Pro. Like, oh, Lucas, you got really tan, dude. I didn't recognize you.
I be tan. I be tan with my sun hat and everything. No, no, man. I'll be focused, man. I'll be like, I think I'm gonna hustle the same, like if I didn't paint the park. You're gonna be like, hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna be super exciting and excited. Sorry, and yeah, very like very 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 hyped to be there.
Oh, definitely. I'm excited for this year, and I'm excited to see your artwork and everything. And if people don't know, Tampa Pro is actually the 29th through the I think it's the what the second.
May
So
2nd, yeah, exactly.
yeah, through May 2nd. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, get them ASAP because you do not want to miss one of the best skateboard contests ever. You'll get to hang out with your favorite pros and all that good stuff and have a good time. You get to meet Lucas and get to see his artwork. But yeah, definitely go to skateparktampa.com to grab your tickets. If you don't, then you'll be stuck there watching it on a tube. And you don't want to sit at home watching a tube because you'll be jealous you're not there.
True.
But all right, Lucas. Well, one couple more things. I know you already said tell people to go to your site, but what's your site actual so people can go buy your book?
So it's lucasbeaufort.com. So LucasBeaufort.com.
All right, and go check it out. Grab a book. Check out rest of his artwork. I mean, this guy is an amazing artist, man. And you'll if you don't know who he is, you do know who he is, and his stuff is amazing. And one last thing, what can you say to the upcoming artists?
You mean the newcomer?
Yeah, the newcomers.
Do you, man? Do you? Same thing, like you see some artists that they ask me like, hey, what do you think about my art? And I always say it doesn't matter, what I think. What it do matter is like it represents you and you love what you do. Because who I am to judge someone's art? Oh, that's shit, that's bullshit, that's good, that's nice. No, man, I have like feelings, and I personally buy art. I have a lot of art pieces at home that I buy, but I don't even like, call the guy. I just like, oh, I see this and I buy what I love. And I think it could be it's the same. When I work with brands, it's funny, they send me a brief and they're like, yeah, this is the brief, this is the guidelines you have to follow. I'm like, fuck no. You reach me to design stuff with you, and you show me the way to do it. Like, I think you don't understand what is a collaboration. And that's the same meaning of like, just do what you love. Like, never try to get, like, I see people on Instagram say, what do you think of my art, or what do you think of this? It's like letting people judge you. Like, I don't I try not to say like this is good or not. We all have like feelings. We all have like opinions. And if you ask me what do you think about this artist, I can tell you like, yeah, I love it, I love this kind of thing, and I can tell you my feelings. But when people ask me like, oh, what do you think about my art, I don't like to say what I think, because it won't help you. So it's much more about like, be honest with what you do, be happy with what you do. And if you love it, if you love it, if you sincere with your art, everything's gonna everything's gonna happen. Same thing, like, don't try to ask people like what they think. You don't need that. Just do what you love, and same with your life. Do what you think is good for you. If it's just like, I don't know, like, we can talk about like the way you eat and everything. Just like, do what you think is good for you. And if you tell me like like eating junk food every day, if it's good for you, man, sometimes I have to say something. I have to say, dude, be careful with this. But if you love to have a burger every week, go for it. And I won't judge. To do what you think is good for you. Yeah, that's my last word tonight.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, thank you, Lucas. That was so on point, man. And I personally want to say thank you for everything you have done for skateboarding, art, and into the art world, and everything you have done, man. And I'm excited to check out this book, and I'm excited to see your artwork at Skate Park of Tampa. And I just want to say thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, and yeah, I see you at Tampa Pro.
See you in a few weeks, buddy.
Yeah,
All right, man. Have a good one.
you too.
All right.